Tasya Jnanam Jana Salakaya Chaksus Unmeditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manubhistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyamali Paskatya Satarine. Thank you very much for inviting me to come. I feel very honored to be amongst people of good faith whose hearts are open to sharing with others compassion, empathy, affection, and help. Everybody needs help in this world. There's different kinds of help. There is help for the body and help for the soul. Help for the body, along with the body, is a temporary type of help. It's necessary often to help people understand that there is a kind face in this universe, that there is a reason to have faith in humanity, and along with that, faith in God. When a person feels disaffected, alone, forlorn, without any love and affection in this world, they're defeated. People of good faith who have love for God share that love with others. And it's incumbent on people who are more fortunate to help the less fortunate. In fact, the Vedic tradition, at the end of any Vedic sacrifice, they always say, Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschit dukkhabhak bhavet. So let everyone be happy in this world. Let them be free of illusion and suffering and misery. Let them come to knowledge and let them achieve the purpose of life, which is developing pure love for God and sharing that with others. So as long as we're going to help someone in their physical misery, that is a temporary thing. It's a good thing, but it's temporary. Along with that, there's a long tradition in Christianity and in Islam in Islam it's called zakat. In Christianity it's called spreading the mercy of Jesus. And Jesus, of course, said, the meek shall inherit the kingdom of God. The first will be last and the last will be first. And he emphasized the importance of helping the poor and needy. He himself healed the sick. He even brought a man back from death, and so many things. And in Islam they have that tradition. And that tradition exists in the Vedic culture. The only obstacle to it has been, in modern Hinduism, the misunderstanding of the caste system. And because of vested interest, in the beginning of Kali Yuga and throughout Kali Yuga, people of, some people in the Brahminical class insist that caste is based on birth and work. But in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna originally said, Chaturvanya Maya Sustam, Guna Karma Vibhagasaha, Tasya Kartaram Apiman, Vidya Kartam Aviram. That a person's position in society is based on their quality and work. Just like if a Supreme Court judge in India has two sons, one is a Supreme Court judge and one is a rickshawala, the one that developed the qualities of a rickshawala cannot be accepted as a Supreme Court judge. One son was trained properly, the other son lacked the training. So birth does not determine the position of a person. It's the quality and work. If you go to a heart surgeon who has tremendous recommendations and a tremendous record of surgery, successful surgery, do you really care if he was born in a Sudra family or in a Brahmanical family? You only care if the person is qualified to do the job. So there's a long tradition in Vedic Dharma, just like in the Jabala Upanishad, there was a great guru named Gautam Muni, and one young boy approached him and he said, Guruji, will you accept me as your disciple? He said, first I must know your Gotra. The boy said, I don't know. He said, go home and ask your mother and father. He said, I don't know who my father is. Then ask your mother. So he went back home and he asked his mother, who is my father? What is our Gotra? And the mother eyes welled up with tears and she said, I don't know. I can't really tell you. So the boy was devastated. The next day he went back to the guru and he said, my dear master, he said, my mother said, we don't know what our Gotra is. So Gautam Muni said, I accept you as my disciple. And the boy was shocked. He said, how come? He said, because you are a real Brahmin, because you told the truth. Therefore, even from the most ancient times, such as in the Jabala Upanishad, the tradition is there to judge a person by their quality and their work, and not by their birth. But because that type of wrong tradition has come down today, many people have been disaffected from Hinduism. And you have, I saw in the brochure, you're trying to help children of fishermen's origin, poor children, tribal children. The tribal children, the tribes in India, the Bales, the Bills, and others, they existed in the time of Lord Ramachandra millions of years ago. When Ramachandra was banned by his father from exile from Ayodhya, he did a wonderful thing. He lived in the forest. And in the forest, he gave his mercy to Guha, who was a tribal leader. And the people that saw him in the forest, the residents of Guha's town, they all felt extremely fortunate that the Supreme Lord of the Universe had come to them to give them his mercy. He gave his mercy to subhumans. He gave his mercy to Jatayu, who was a vile vulture, but yet he was a genuine devotee. He gave his mercy to Vibhishan, who was a Rakshasa, but yet he came and bowed down in front of Ram, and Ram accepted him, even though Lakshman and Sugriva were very, very hesitant. But Ram said, anyone who bows down to me, I will accept him. So this is the real Vedic tradition. And from that understanding, you can actually do good to others, regardless of their caste, regardless of their social position, regardless of their education, etc. And if that is strengthened, just as His Holiness Chinna G.R. Swami is doing, then people understand there's something greater than simply this caste system. There is the Vedic tradition of Daya and Doya. It is mercy shown by a superior to a person less fortunate, and there's mercy shown by a person less fortunate to a superior. Just like we can say that Jatayu was less fortunate. He had the body of a vulture. But yet, when he heard Sita crying out for help, he came, even though he was blind, and he challenged Ravana. When Ravana figured out that he was blind, he was able to kill him. But Jatayu was willing to risk his life to save Sita. We should all be like Jatayu. We should be willing to risk our life, if necessary, to help others, to do good in this world. Now today, money is considered like blood. It's very hard for people to separate from themselves from their money. But if you can use it for a positive thing, then that's the real purpose of it. What good is it to take our knowledge and our money to the grave? It has no purpose at all. It should be used to help other people. So I'm very glad to be here today. There's a lot we could say, but I think I've said enough. And I want to thank Srinivas Prabhu and the organizers the VTSeva. It's a noble cause. However, simply serving the body is incomplete seva. The United States has given hundreds and billions of dollars, and in fact trillions of dollars, to help the poor. It has not really helped them. You can go and walk around the United States, you'll see street people, you'll see kids who are very poorly educated, even though they've gone through the public school system, even though the schools are shining bright with all the bells and whistles, and still they're coming out uneducated. Uneducated doesn't mean they don't know math and science. Uneducated means they don't know how to respect their parents, elders, teachers, gurus, and eventually God. So the education begins in the home. Mother and father, Mata Pritivyam Namaha, they're the first gurus. And the children grow up in a house of love and affection and respect, then it's easy for them to respect Guru, and it's easy for them to respect God. When they grow up in families that are broken, families that are very poor, families that are simply struggling to live, it's much more difficult for those children to develop the finer qualities. Therefore, some help is needed. Education, food, hygiene, and so forth. But the purpose is to help them become spiritually developed. It's not simply to subsist, but to become spiritually developed. So those things should go together. Anyway, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.